Minister of Environment, Water and Agriculture of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Honourable Ministers, distinguished guests and participants, all protocols observed. In the name of the Director General of the FAO, Dr. Chu Dongyu, I'm delighted to address you in the opening of the 2022 Saudi International Marine Exhibition and Conference. Dr. Chu sends his regards and apologizes for not being able to be with us today. I'm the Director of the Fisheries and Aquaculture Division at FAO. I'm also the Acting Executive Secretary of the General Fisheries Commission for the Mediterranean, a fisheries regional management organization that has recently welcomed Saudi Arabia as a collaborating, non-contracting party in the area of aquaculture. Let me start by referring to the fact that we are not on track to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals of ending poverty and hunger by 2030. We are far from it. The FAO estimates that 811 million people were undernourished in the world in 2020. To make things worse, the FAO Food Price Index has reached a 10-year high in 2021. The COVID-19 pandemic has reversed decades of work against hunger and poverty. It has aggravated inequalities and is keeping healthy diets out of reach of 3 billion people in every region of the world. Our fight against hunger is now more difficult and more urgent. Last year, the United Nations Secretary General convened a food system summit to set the stage for a global agri-food systems transformation and to support countries to accelerate the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals. A greater focus on aquatic foods was one of the 7 identified priorities from the summit. CIMEC is a great opportunity to spotlight this priority. Aquatic products have already had a significant contribution to the improvements in food and nutrition security in the world, but more is expected from them to reduce hunger and poverty. Aquaculture in particular has been the fastest growing food production system in the world for the last 5 decades, but it still has a great potential for growth, especially if targeted interventions are made in food deficit regions. I note that Saudi Arabia produces 94% of the total aquaculture production of the Gulf country region plus Yemen, a production that has grown very significantly in recent years. I also note the huge investment in aquaculture that several other countries in the region are currently doing, with significant achievements in just a few years. FAO will continue supporting these developments in Bahrain, Oman, the United Arab Emirates, and Yemen, as well as Saudi Arabia. But the volume of production of aquatic foods in the Gulf countries plus Yemen is still largely dominated by capture fisheries. I recall that the Regional Commission for Fisheries, RECOFI, was established by FAO at the request of member countries over 20 years ago to promote the development, conservation, management and use of marine resources and aquaculture in the area of agreement. In its 10th session, RECOFI adopted a very important management decision to close for 2 months every year the fishing of kingfish, Spanish mackerel in the entire region. I'm delighted to note that despite the pandemic, member countries were able to implement this measure in 2020 and in 2021, sending a very distinct message about the importance of regional cooperation and collective efforts. FAO is also working with concerned members to establish a Red Sea and Gulf of Aden Aquaculture and Fisheries Commission, RAFO. This is an important fisheries area without a regional fisheries structure. Allow me to appeal to riparian countries to cooperate with the FAO to achieve this goal. I also want to honor and note with pride the work of our sub-regional office for the GCC states and Yemen, based in Abu Dhabi in the UAE, as well as our country offices in the region, which are working hard and in coordination to support the development of sustainable aquaculture and fisheries, especially in Bahrain, Oman, UAE and Yemen. Finally, I'm delighted that CIMIC is taking place at the start of 2022, the International Year of Artisanal Fisheries and Aquaculture. The objectives of IAFA are to support the contribution of small-scale artisanal fisheries and aquaculture to sustainable development, and more especially to food security, nutrition and poverty eradication. Excellencies, fulfilling the expectations on aquatic foods is not simple. Solutions are not easy to find, and there are challenges to most of them, including from climate change. For this reason, I look forward to the very important Conference of Parties of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, which will be hosted in Egypt in 2022 and the United Arab Emirates in 2023. I've been part of the UNFCCC process for many years, and thus I expect to be back in the region regularly in the coming years. Excellencies, because more can and should be achieved from aquatic foods, the FAO has started a new priority program that's called Blue Transformation, a program to assist the sector achieve its expectations. I will provide more details later today. We must work collectively to transform our global agri-food systems to be more efficient, more inclusive, more resilient, and more sustainable. If we don't think about blue transformation, about aquatic foods in the context of this agri-food systems transformation, we will not achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. Let us work together using the opportunities that aquatic food brings to ensure this. Only then we will be able to end hunger and poverty. With my warmest congratulations to Saudi Arabia for putting together CIMIC 22 to you, I thank you.